All right, everybody. Good, very late morning or very early afternoon, depending on when you see this. And the stream is still going strong. We've got over 1,000 people in there right now. Things popped off like crazy over the last hour when some things actually started to happen. And I want to talk a little bit now about the primary Seahawks adjacent event so far today, even though on the surface it doesn't have anything to do with the Seahawks, because the things that happened today that have something to do with the Seahawks are DJ Dallas going to the Cardinals and Drew Lock going to the Giants, because those are players that we lost. We might get a compensatory pick for Drew Lock. I don't know. Maybe it'll be like a seventh round pick or something like that. So we're going to be trying to solve that throughout the day. We probably didn't get anything for DJ Dallas. We don't know what kind of money DJ got. Probably not that much. So that stuff is certainly worth discussing and worth talking about. But very clearly, Seahawks fans are focused on something that didn't involve a former or current or future Seahawks player. We're talking about Patrick Queen. We are talking about Patrick Queen more than anything else, because he's a player who was not on the Seahawks before, and he's not going to be on the Seahawks going forward. And that was a player that a lot of people were circling the wagons around. And what happened, as you can see on screen to my left here, if you look up, he signed a deal that was a lot smaller than many people, myself included, anticipated. Patrick Queen got 3 years, 41 million from the Steelers. And that is currently the talk of the town, because that doesn't seem like it's that bad. And it is a lot less than I was expecting. It was my expectation that after the cap went up, he was going to get somewhere around 5 years, 100 million, at least 90 million. I thought it was going to be a 5-year deal. I I thought he was going to break the bank, and he really didn't. 3 years is pretty reasonable, and 41 million. I mean, that's functional. And a lot of people are not particularly happy about it. I kind of get it, but at the same time, I think that people are losing track of something here. The main reason, like deep down, we have to acknowledge something. The main reason why you would have wanted Patrick Queen in here is because of the relationship with Mike Macdonald. The fact that we did not meet that contract offer from the Pittsburgh Steelers for Patrick Queen, what does that tell you? It tells you that we didn't want him at all. And you can disagree with that decision if you want to, but I find it very interesting here. We've seen this twice now in the first 2 days. Yesterday, Jordan Brooks. Jordan Brooks got less than 9 million per year from the Dolphins, and the Seahawks seem to just let it happen. And now we're doing it with Patrick Queen. Patrick Queen gets about 14 million a year, which is less than projected. And Seattle lets that happen. That's a player who is outgoing, and that's a player who has a relationship with our new head coach. So the lack of interest on the part of this front office and coaching staff on getting those players is fascinating to me. And that when I look at it from that angle, when I look at it from that perspective, I I do find it kind of weird that people are so upset about this, because it's not like Patrick Queen is the best linebacker in the league. It's not like Jordan Brooks is the best linebacker in the league. I think that the appeal of those two players being in Seattle had more to do with Mike Macdonald, because he's a former linebacker coach, because he did good work with Patrick Queen in Baltimore, and presumably could have done the same thing with Jordan Brooks. And yet, with Mike Macdonald at the helm here, we let both those guys go. So I don't know. I think that if you look at it objectively, Patrick Queen, people are acting like he's the best linebacker in the league, that he's Ray Lewis, that he's Derek Brooks, that he's Brian Urlacher. He was nothing before Mike Macdonald became the DC there. He was nothing before Roquan Smith got there. you would have had to pay him a lot of money because he's coming off a career year in 2023, and the Ravens were such a high-profile team last year. There's definitely a tax to pay on getting a guy like Patrick Queen right now, and that tax might have been acceptable because of Mike Macdonald. But the fact that Mike Macdonald saw a situation where they didn't have to pay that tax and still didn't go for it, I don't know, hard for me to be upset. And the final point is, and I really want people to think about this, off-ball linebacker, off-ball linebacker is about the least important position in the world right now. Off-ball linebacker is right up there with safety and running back for devalued positions in the NFL. Only the super, super, super duper stars get paid at the linebacker positions. And Patrick Queen, he's not on that level, I don't think. I don't think he's as good as Roquan Smith, clearly. I don't think he's really as good as Tremaine Edmonds. He's good. I think he's very good. There was a price I would have been willing to give him. So, I don't know. I understand that the linebacker position looks really bad right now, but I would rather go into the season with a shaky linebacker room, a bunch of rookies and a bunch of guys we don't know if they're going to be good, than go into the season with a crazy amount of money invested in a position that we in the modern NFL know, the modern NFL knows doesn't have a ton to do with winning. I thought maybe that our new head coach wouldn't look at it that way because he's a former linebacker coach. He might value linebackers more than the average, but looks like he doesn't. So we will get linebackers. We will eventually sign some guys. We will draft some guys. So at the end of the day, I'm just a little bit confused that I understand that the contract was less than people expected. I do. And I understand that people are looking at the linebacker depth chart right now and they're kind of freaking out. And if we go into the season with these linebackers, yeah, it'll be bad. It'll be really bad. But the fact that Patrick Queen and Jordan Brooks signed for that amount does tell me that we might be able to do pretty good on some of these other linebackers that are still out there. So everybody calm down. I assure you right now, Patrick Queen, I thought he was going to get more, but he's probably worth about what he got, if we're being real here. As a player, I think 13, 14 million a year is like right on the line. And honestly, when I was talking about Patrick Queen earlier today, one thing that I kept coming back to was I would be willing to give him about 12 to 13 million. That's my upper level. So this was right on the line to me. And I'm okay. I'm totally okay with this team not being willing to cross that line. So let's hope now that some of the remaining linebackers go for a reasonable cost after what happened to Brooks and Queen. All right. So I just wanted to address the Patrick Queen stuff real quick because that's the thing that Seahawks fans are freaking out about right now. And I'm just kind of looking at it. And again, I have to ask, why are we getting so bent out of shape about it? An off-ball linebacker, a position that is clearly on the lower end of the scale of importance to successful teams right now. So let's buckle up and see what happens from here on out. But, try to relax right now. This probably isn't the offseason for us to go after the top-priced players anyway. I will admit that what Queen got is not necessarily the top of the market, but it's a significant amount of money for a team that is still trying to put together a proof of concept. All right. See you guys later. Go Hawks. I just wanted to kind of stream of consciousness some thoughts here. But the stream rolls on for the next several hours.